What up? It's your girl Guru JoJo, and I am doing this video in particular to explain the difference between using reversals versus not using reversals in tarot. Before I start, I'm going to let you know first, it doesn't make a difference. A tarot reader should just be able to channel the energies. Regardless of your preference, you're still going to come to the same outcome. This is the same concept as 2 plus 5 equals 7, right? But also 8 minus 1 equals 7. Oh, it came to the same outcome through a different operation. So here's the thing with the tarot, pretty much. The tarot cards, for the most part, there's like positive cards, then you can say that there's neutral cards, you can say that there's negative cards. When I say this, think of it similar to mathematics and not so much like bad or good. Okay? There's no good or bad necessarily. Yeah, we may use that lingo when we're explaining the cards, but in the way I'm trying to explain it right now, it's not necessary to think in that manner. It's necessary to think of it as adding to or negating to an energy, or almost acting as a catalyst versus something that's the opposite of that, whatever that would be, taken away from the energy. A catalyst is something that helps an energy to start up. Okay, so pretty much in the tarot, there's like catalyst type cards. There's cards that have a more positive influence, meaning that it helps the energy to assert itself. It makes the energy more out in the forefront. Such cards are like the Magician, the Wheel of Fortune, the Sun card, Six of Wands. All right, let's see what else I got in here. Knight of Swords, Page of Wands, Knight of Wands, all the knights. Okay, all the knights. These are cards that are more associated with positivity, or it is an assertive type of energy. It's something that you can see more in the forefront. I would even say things like Ace of Wands, most definitely. Okay, and then you have cards like Ace of Swords, which is also an energy that is bringing the mental, bringing the mind out more in the forefront to focus upon something. So it's like having sparks of insight, being clear, having mental clarity, but it comes with taking away. So it's like it's like a more of a neutral card in a sense, but I would put this in a more positive space. Like if somebody was getting this card, I would assume the cards next to it being upright. I personally don't read reversal, so I'm going to explain like how these are the same thing. So an example of like more negative cards, like cards that kind of take away from energy or cause a more internalized response. Okay, the Moon card. All right, so when you get these cards, you understand that it's taking away from energy. Eight of Cups, the Death card, the Hanged Man, Five of Pentacles, Five of Cups, Four of Pentacles, okay, Two of Swords, Nine of Swords, Eight of Swords, Four of Cups, right? These are cards that are more on the negative end. Even High Priestess. High Priestess is more neutral, but in general, the High Priestess is an internalized energy. This person usually is very intelligent, knows a lot, but they're quiet. They're not negative, but it just means that yin yang. It's like a yin yang thing. Yin is a negative energy, yang is a positive energy. It's masculine versus femininity, but in the way that I'm trying to explain it is more so that you're not really going to see what's going on with this person. They're going to be very mysterious. Now, unlike the Magician, okay, this is card number 1, this is card number 2. The Magician, you see, what they manifested. You see how they brought that into reality. Like you could see things a little bit easier. But when you get to the high priestess, it's not that obvious. Okay? It's more sneaky perhaps or something like that. So with that being said, I want to go ahead and provide an example, right? Let's say that I receive a 9 of cups. Now keep in mind, I'm going to show the way that I do it first versus a similar outcome using reversals. So let's say I pull 9 of cups, right? 9 of cups is generally a card associated with a high level of arrogance, or at least a good level of confidence on a more positive end. Okay, the confidence ought to be natural. Perhaps this person is just very in tune with their emotional stance, and thus their emotions are always elevated in some way. Or at this time, the person's emotions are high and mighty and elevated. Right? Now let's say I also pull a temperance card. Okay. And like a 3 of cups or something like that with a tower. Right? So I know that this person's most likely partying, right? And there's a need for them to balance themselves and maybe not get too hot-tempered and, you know, make people upset. But in general, you know, I know this person's most likely they are under the usage of substances, or they could be drinking because they're partying, and there's a need for balance, right? And the tower comes in. So with that being said, it's like, this is essentially the same thing as receiving like a 9 of cups with the temperance card reversed. You know what I'm saying? And maybe like 3 of cups. It's the same thing. Like, so my point being is that since I pull cards up right and I've made that known, and that's been my preferred way, I'm going to be guided to pull cards that are going to give me the appropriate reading, being my preference. Versus someone else who reads reversals, they are going to pull cards appropriate to their preference, and it's going to be the same outcome. So that's my point. I can even provide another example. Let's say that we get something like, all right, so the star card, this would be a positive card, right? A card that's adding to energy, saying like, yeah, you know, it's good. You're in tune with your spirit guides. The messages are being sent to you. Good luck. You know, something's coming your way to lead you closer to the path of your higher goals, your bigger wishes and dreams. Okay? Also, too, this energy could represent fame or celebrity energy as well. But let's say that we get like the high priestess, right? You would have to be really spiritually in tune to be seeing these signs or something like that. This person could be an undercover star, like maybe they're an underground musical artist or something like that with the high priestess. You see, because it's like hidden energy. You know, or they could just be a spiritual celebrity. You know, it's like stuff like that, like Joel Osteen or something. I mean, I feel like he would be more of like a hierophant or a magician energy, but also this particular combination, the high priestess with the star card, or the star card with the high priestess, it can represent seeing synchronicities or seeing spiritual signs and messages, but it's only if you're in tune with that type of stuff, like metaphysical, occult, spiritual type of knowledge. You get my point. Now, let's say that we also receive let's say we receive like a 4 of cups or something like that. Or let's say we receive a 2 of swords, okay, or both. We know that this would indicate that you're not really seeing the messages that are being sent to you because you're lazy, then you don't pay attention to things, and you're not taking on offers and opportunities. You're overindulging in your own luxury and stuff. That you're being like blinded to making a decision and seeing things in a proper manner. Like you have like a limitation in the things you're paying attention to, basically. And then with the high priestess there, it could represent that you think you know everything, but you don't, like, kind of thing. You know what I'm saying? So this essentially would put like the star card in reverse. Like the reading I just showed you is similar to getting the star card in reverse with a 4 of cups or something like that. And like we can even throw this in, like you not seeing the signs, you not seeing the messages, you on the wrong path, you missed an opportunity, because you're not seeing things, like you're not making a decision, your thinking skills is not the best right now. Like it's like the same thing, like as me getting like a star card upright with a high priestess and a 2 of swords and a 4 of cups. You're not seeing things clearly, you know what I'm saying? Poor decision making, you missed an opportunity. It's the same thing. So that's basically what I'm trying to say. It just really doesn't matter whether or not you do reversals or not. It's more so the reader. Does the reader know how to read cards? Usually most of the time, if you get cards like the Ace of Swords, you know, this means something's being cut off. You know what I'm saying? Or you may be receiving a message of some sort. But, you know, when you get these type of cards like Ace of Swords, when you get cards like Ace of Cups or Ace of Wands, Magician, these would be adding to energy. So you would think of cards around it being upright if you're reading without reversals. So if you're getting like a star card, then you got like a Magician or the Chariot card or Ace of Wands, this is definitely like, yeah, the star card is upright. Like you are manifesting, the signs are all around you, and they're happening quickly. Like the star card is usually far out things. Like the stars are far away when you look at them in the sky, right? So that's the thing. It's like a lot of the times you feel far away from these bigger goals that you want. But when you get the Magician, the Ace of Wands, like, no, these opportunities are here for you now. You know what I'm saying? Let's say you get something like this star card with a 4 of Pentacles. This is like putting a star card in reverse, because 4 of Pentacles is a more taking away energy. It's more negative. Again, don't think of it as bad or good. It's just, this is a card of holding back. So if you're receiving the star card and you want to know, you don't read reversals, right? And you want to know, is this like, or if it's pick another card, pick another card and pick another card. That's why you really don't have to utilize reversals, but there's nothing wrong with using them. But the thing is that you have plenty of cards to see what the cards around it means too, as it relates all together, how it's all connected. Like, so I'm not saying this to persuade people to change the way that they do tarot readings. I'm giving this video to validate my preference. That's it. So I don't want people to think, oh, you know, just because my name's Guru Jojo, I'm a dispeller of darkness. That's it. I just bring things that are unknown to a known space. That's it. I'm no flipping, like, I'm not God. I'm not here to tell you how to live your life. Like, I don't just pull shit out of my ass. Like, I actually take time to understand things. So, you know, 4 of Pentacles, a lot of times this has to do with saving money, hoarding, just keeping secrets, holding back information, holding back resource, whether it be, you know, because you're trying to save money, which this would be a good thing. So at the same time, you would have to pull an additional card too, unless you kind of know the storyline already. But in general, this could indicate that you're trying to save money for future and better plans and goals. On the other hand, like I said, this could indicate that you have so much crap around you, and you don't share enough, and you're just too into yourself. And like, this is almost like Grinch energy, like the Grinch. You know how the Grinch didn't want to be around people for the holidays and stuff, but it's not exactly like that. But it's a similar concept of a person who just don't want to ever be around people. Um, and sometimes I'm like this. I think we're all like this sometimes, especially in the winter when it gets cold and stuff. But this person is not willing to share with others. They only kind of like care about themselves. The main thing is just to understand that there's cards that are neutral, there's cards that are more positive, there's cards that are more negative. If you know tarot, you kind of have an idea for which cards are which. And I'm saying like Four of Swords, for example, is like a neutral card. You're resting pretty much. You're contemplating about something. A lot of times this can mean like a break from relationships or something like that. If you were in a relationship, or a break from people, you just need time to rest. You may not be feeling too well, but I wouldn't put it in like a negative cards. I would just say that it's like more of a neutral card. You know what I'm saying? Like Five of Cups. I almost forgot Five of Cups. This is like more of a negative card. This is disappointment. However, Two Cups are still there. So it's like, it's one of those things you just have to, since we have cards available for us and we're not just picking one card, it's not really necessary to use reversals. But there's nothing wrong with using reversals at all. I'm just saying that understand also that there's nothing wrong with not using reversals, because I'm picking more cards in order to further validate or to further understand how each card is coming together to create a story. So that's the main message. And when I say story, I just mean you have to have a storyline. When you're picking the cards, you're getting the messages that need to be received. That's essentially a story. So I don't want people to misunderstand that for somebody who's like just telling bullshit stories versus like tarot storylines as it relates to giving out divine messages for others to help them. So that's all I want to say for this video. I hope it was helpful. If you have any further questions, feel free to comment and ask. Don't be afraid. Thank you for watching. Blessings, light, and love. Peace out.